All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Riley and Friends YouTube podcast thingy majiggy. I am Riley. I'm joined by my two friends. I have more than two friends, but these are two friends that I do have that are here right now.
No, we're the only ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
You don't know anybody else.
They haven't showed up yet, so we'll see.
Yes. So I'm with Gabe and Corinne. How about you two introduce yourself, starting with Corinne?
Hi, I'm Corinne. You can find me on Twitter as Manic Pixie Girl without the E if you want to do that. Otherwise, generally you can find me on ReRollHQ doing tabletop stuff, which is a Twitch channel. Or you can find me with my podcast, Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am, with an exclamation point at the end and proper commas where needed. Which is a podcast about reading smut and romance novels and analyzing them as we get tipsy. It's a lot of fun. The next episode comes out this Wednesday. Yeah, this Wednesday, and that is Alex DeCampi's Heartbreak Incorporated. I'm really excited for this episode because we love this book. So, yeah, come check us out. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Podbean, Google, wherever you listen. There's other ones. I'm forgetting a main one. Apple. That's the other one. iTunes.
There's like 5 million.
There's like 336. I should be on most of them.
There's one just called podcast. There's things.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. That's what I do.
All right. Moving on to Gabe. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm Gabe. I mostly live here. Aside from that, you can find me playing Zelda. Yeah, that's basically it. Those two things. But I'm here now.
You didn't disappear from existence like you have and disappeared from existence just to start this episode?
I don't know if I would even know that. Like, this is just it.
Yeah, we'll never know unless one of you, like Riley, you probably know where Gabe lives. If you go to Gabe's house and then like wait for the recording to be done and then run into the room and
still
see
there.
If he's still there. If he's not there, then he only exists for the podcast.
Don't tell me that because I don't want to know.
Well, I might just if I just wait outside, go to his house, wait outside for a little bit and there's no answer, I'll just go to Skype, hit the record, and then he'll pop up and I'll be like, oh, hey, there's Gabe.
I can see Riley arrested for standing outside house for hours filming.
This is very weird.
But hello, everyone. We're here.
Yeah. Okay. So today, usually we talk about what we've played, watched, or listened to today, or for the last 2 weeks, not just today. But we will get to that. But we also have kind of a topic today, and that is the Riot Fest lineup, which is something that we're all interested in because it's something that we go to and is either close by or, in Gabe's case, somewhat close by.
It exists.
It exists in the same regional sphere. So have you all had a chance to look over the Riot Fest lineup?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I have to say there are a lot of bands from my work here. And also Corey Feldman, which I'm really confused about.
that has been a recurring theme on the Riot Fest Facebook page and Facebook chat group. Like, oh, there's lots of rock and punk and Corey Feldman.
Yeah, I'm just I'm so confused about Corey Feldman. Maybe he's been doing music and I didn't know. I didn't think to look. I mean,
yeah. Have you thought about him though? That's the thing. Like, I haven't thought about him.
I don't just think about Corey Feldman that often. Oddly enough, not like a daily thought I have is, Corey Feldman.
He's been doing something these years. He must have been.
I'm sure he has a thing he does for, things to do, maybe.
Apparently it's this.
Yeah, I guess it's this.
This booking festival gigs as the what the fuck Corey Feldman's on here act.
Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't even do anything. He just stands on stage like Corey Feldman. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
It's kind of like I remember seeing the Pizza Underground, which was Macaulay Culkin in his weird era doing a pizza-themed Velvet Underground cover band, which is as incredibly odd as it sounds.
And there was always pizza at the events.
But was it good? In the
Fine,
sense,
good.
In the sense, was it fun?
Oh, it was fun for sure.
I'm
don't know.
all for Macaulay Culkin just doing whatever weird shit he wants to. He deserves it.
Oh, it was weird. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think like he even dressed up just in a giant pizza costume, like he was a slice of pizza.
He sure did.
Yep.
Why am I only just learning about this?
I know. I didn't know until I saw it at Riot Fest. And is that Macaulay Culkin?
See, I've never seen them. I just know of them because weird things. I know about weird things. if there's something weird, I probably know about it.
Spent my days searching for them.
Which is why Corey Feldman being here, I'm surprised I didn't know. I should know. I should know what he's up to. I know weird things.
That's the funny thing. There's always a wild card, but this year's wild card is cranked up to 11.
Yeah, and Corey Feldman.
And ICP.
Yes,
ICP, yeah.
I just saw that literally as you said it. I'm like, wait a minute, ICP is going to be there?
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of juggalos.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of juggalos.
For people watching, that's an A+.
I'm really interested to see. I don't know if I'll go watch ICP, but if I do,
what they're up against, I have to admit, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I know that like ICP has like reformed themselves. Like they've, they're still going to make ridiculous music, of course, but like they've kind of apologized for some of the shit they made that was just like goddamn awful, like just terrible stuff to say. And they're like, yeah, we're adults now, and we've learned a lot, we're a lot less ignorant, and some of the songs we wrote were really just awful. And we're sorry. So I'm interested to see ICP post apology for being shitty humans.
What a world where ICP is more evolved than most of the world.
Exactly, yeah. Like, ICP apologized, and that's something I never thought would happen. So now that they're at Riot Fest, I'm interested. It really depends on who they're up against, but
also, don't stand in the front if you're curious.
Yeah, no, I will be nowhere near the front.
I don't know if you know their thing, but it involves spraying people with large amounts of pop.
Yeah, nope, that sounds right.
That sounds very sticky on a hot day.
I don't want to get sticky.
That's how you get bees, and there's always bees.
This sounds like a problem for Dr. Bees, is what it sounds like. Oh, if nobody knows what Dr. Bees is, look it up on YouTube.
Well, I know what Dr. Bees is.
It's fantastic.
I'm in the dark here.
You gotta look it up.
Well, look it up right now.
Okay, I'm looking.
It's a cartoon by Harry Partridge.
Okay. That makes sense. I know about Harry Partridge.
Yeah, basically it's a superhero whose power is just bringing bees.
You know what? I might know this, but it's been a while since I've seen it.
It's one of my favorite, like, kind of like deep pulls, because a lot of people know about it, but you never know who's going to know about it. And I just think about Dr. Bees constantly, which is a problem. Like I said, I just know about weird shit, and Dr. Bees is one of the things that I just throw out all the time. Is like, you know what this problem needs? A large influx of bees.
Insert Nicolas Cage gif.
Yeah.
You know what this festival needs? Bees.
Yeah, we need a large influx of bees to this Riot Fest. Which ICP is going to help with by spraying all the pop everywhere.
Yep.
They're the real heroes here.
I'm also looking at this going, the lineup is going to have such scheduling conflicts are going to be ridiculous just because there's so much cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like taking a look at this, there's so many things I want to see, and I know that they're going to clash.
Yeah.
I'm preparing my body for the inevitable turnstile Foo Fighters choice.
I feel like that would be a very bad split if they did that. Like I feel like
idea.
I'm thinking that maybe they'll do, because you know how they set two stages next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm hoping that they put Turnstile like set like before the Foo Fighters on the opposing stage, and then have the Foo Fighters come out.
I hope so.
Second stage, like, because that's because it's like that kind of works well with for Foo Fighters fans who are going to go for the for the Foo Fighters stage, but they can still watch Turnstile,
right,
who performed before them. And I think there's a good overlap of fans.
Yeah, I can see
there.
Turnstile like opening for the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, and because Turnstile is like a fun punk band. Like I don't know, I'm not as familiar with like punk as much, so I don't really know what like subgenre I would categorize them as. But they're like a fun modern punk band. And they kind of hit it big with their last album.
Yeah, they were a hardcore band that kind of transitioned into something else. Yeah.
They're punk, but they have a bit of like I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it. Like they feel modern, but still punk, if that makes any sense.
I think their roots are still hardcore, but they've got that party vibe about them.
Yes, that's
I just want to say, completely random, there's a band I know nothing about called Gorilla Biscuits. And I just like that name.
Want to tell you, not only that, they're on my top 10 bands to see. They're
one
of the best live bands ever.
I know nothing about them, but kudos on the name. I saw Gorilla Biscuits, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I want to see it.
Yeah, what is this Gorilla Biscuits, Gabe?
Gorilla Biscuits is a perfect name for a straight-edge hardcore band, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Gorilla Biscuits is a do not miss for sure. I saw them and got to stage dive for the first time in Des Moines, and that was fun.
That is fun.
They're wild. I don't know how to describe it other than they're kind of what I picture every hardcore show is what it's supposed to be.
I'm sold. I want to see Gorilla Biscuits.
Gorilla Biscuits are going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing Code Orange. I've seen Code Orange. We saw Code Orange in 2017 after they released probably their best album forever. But I'm kind of interested to see how they perform, because their 2020 album Underneath was definitely like a more accessible genre shift. Like it still had like a lot of hardcore or new like a meld of hardcore and new metal, but it also had like it had the heaviness, but it also had the some melodies, and they kind of it's a very good and very different Code Orange album, and I kind of want to see how that kind of plays with the rest of their back catalog and discography.
I'm a big pop punk kind of person. So I'm excited to see that Say Anything's back. I enjoy Say Anything a lot. They're like a Riot Fest staple, but they weren't there last year, I don't think. So it's good to see them back. I do love me some Say Anything. I've never seen Flogging Molly live, but I went through a Flogging Molly phase in high school, so like that's exciting for me.
Flogging Molly has a phase in everyone's heart.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has a Flogging Molly phase, and I still know a lot of the songs really well. So I don't know if they're doing anything new, but yeah. So I think that's an interesting one to see, that I'm happy to see there. And then, just like last year, I'm interested to see a lot of the ones that I work with through my job, because there's like just a shit ton here, like Balance and Composure.
I'm not familiar with them, actually.
Yeah, they're just putting out an album. I don't know if the first album, I don't know, this summer, but they're putting out an album. And then Rival Schools, Nothing Nowhere. There's more. LS Dunes, obvioally.
I'm happy to get a repeat chance at that one.
Yeah, we missed it last time.
Yeah.
Because it was the first thing.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I think they only had one song out at the time, so that's probably why.
Yeah, they're just like, well, just one song. I think Godspeed You Black Emperor is under us as well.
That's like number one for me on the must-see list.
Yeah. I think Bayside is. But yeah, like, so, I just like, seeing all these artists that like their names pop up all the time at my job, and it's nice to go see them in person and be like, oh, this is what I've been doing. Interesting.
You can put a sound and a face to the stuff you've been working on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because mostly I'm just shipping vinyl. I'm just receiving and shipping. I'm just the numbers gal. But it's nice to be able to be like, oh, this I see. Oh, Free Throw. There's another one. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with most of the ones you listed, actually.
Yeah, they're usually like a fair amount of these, like Balance and Composure, and you see, maybe Godspeed You Black Emperor. I'm not certain. Rival Schools. Those are the ones I'm seeing right off the top of my head. They're under the label either Run for Cover or Memory Music, which is a smaller. It's kind of like a big fish in a small pond for like the alternative rock, pop punk band. So like they're one of the biggest labels in that small genre, but they're not one of the huge big boys. So yeah, so like a lot of their bands have been doing really well, but they're still smaller than something like The Cure, obviously. They're not headlining.
That makes sense. See, I'm interested in Sleep Token. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like, it's weird with Sleep Token. I love a few of their songs. I have never really like vibed with the whole album by them, but I'm kind of interested to see like their show just because of the theatricality. I mean, their lead singer is called Vessel, and he wears a mask. So I'm kind of like, I think it'll be a good show. And there's some songs that I do like just really love by them. And also, hopefully no one rips like a loud, crazy fart during their more.
Oh my god, that story!
During one of their slow moments, because they're like a weird combination of like indie rock, pop, and a little bit of metal. And so like they have like their songs sometimes have riffs, sometimes they have like they transition to like these quieter moments, or they even start on quieter moments before transitioning to some kind of genty riffs. But
they're kind of like Gent Ghost, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they're kind of like Gent Ghost, but I think Ghost is definitely not as pop as Sleep Token is.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how they do in their show, and listen to Alkaline, which is my favorite song of theirs. It's so good. But as well as a few others.
I do want to say there's just a lot of blasts from the past on this list. Like
they're good at that.
Bowling for Soup, Hawthorne Heights. Who else did I see here? Silverstein.
For me, Pennywise.
Yeah. The Dresden Dolls.
I'm gonna sing the bro hymn.
Yeah, Pennywise are a staple at this point.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It's funny because I've been to a lot, and so I'm always happy to see the repeat customers come back. Your Pennywises, your Bad Religions. We'll exclude Guar from this part of the conversation because they don't count in this. But
well, maybe they'll stuff. Maybe they'll, when they do the second round of updates, they'll add them. Who knows?
Oh, I know they will. It was leaked on the playlist, but Guar doesn't count because I will see them anytime I can.
Yes. Guar is just such a fun show, like a very fun show.
I mean,
I love these repeats, but this is such a fresh year. There's so much new stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Bungle. I've never seen Mr. Bungle.
Neither have I. I'm really excited for that.
And I hadn't really like, as much as I love Mike Patton, I hadn't really listened to much Mr. Bungle. So I listened to California for like the first time like last week, and that album rules. Just because it's like surf rock combined with metal combined with folk combined with whatever.
Mike Patton is most Mike Patton.
I just want to say that description reminds me of my friend was doing like a charity stream, and one of the things he was doing was having people donate as he wrote like a song, and like made a song in like, you know, using like pre-made like bits and pieces and stuff like that. And that just sounds like what he made. It was like surf rock into metal into, you know, so on and so forth. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world, and it was amazing. So I'm gonna have to,
Mr. Bungle.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Like just like throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks.
I mean, it's a pretty good description of that album, though. I checked their set list of what they've been playing on their tour this year, and they've mostly been playing stuff from the 2020 release, where they released like their demo from.
Yeah, I think they're sticking to the thrash stuff for this tour.
Yeah. So they're very much gonna be more hardcore, more metal, but still with some genre splicing. Also, they have a cover of
it's Sod, isn't it?
Yeah,
English or Die.
Yeah, Speak English or Die, but instead of Speak English or Die, it's Speak Spanish or Die. Classic. That's just like that's a very Mr. Bungle thing.
Yeah, that's definitely on my top 10 list as well. They're going to be awesome.
Yeah, Mars Volta.
I saw them last year. Oh my god, you get excited. They're so good.
Okay. I mean, I've only really listened to Francis the Mute.
But they play like that whole album live. It's gonna be so good.
Yes. I'm gonna try not to fall the first day, so I can do more than one day this year.
That'd be good. That'd be an improvement.
Yeah, that'd be the improvement. So fingers crossed, because there's a lot I want to see, and I don't want to fuck up my back.
Yeah, I'll try and have you stay at my place so you don't have to drive back to DeKalb if you want to do that. That's up to ye.
Up to you.
Up to you. So I was trying to channel your very good Wisconsin accent that you can do.
Oh, Heather, you can stay at my place if you don't want to drive back to DeKalb. So, just pop on by. We'll have some nice hot dish. We'll have a good time.
That's good. That's flawless.
Thank you. Been doing that since I was in high school. It started as a way to make fun of Sarah Palin. Well, I can see Russia from my backyard. And it just, so I have a solid 10 plus years doing this.
Random skills we'll never get rid of. I love it.
Exactly. It's all because I wanted to make fun of Sarah Palin, and I just whipped that out, and it was there, and I'm like, I didn't know this was within me, but it's here now to stay.
It's funny. I think I would describe this year as like my iPod on shuffle mode. in the best way.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's so many things like Viagra Boys, ridiculous name, really, really fun band.
What genre are they?
Viagra Boys are a punk band, but they take that. They're going to stretch that definition.
Gotcha. Pup
is one of my favorites. I love Pup.
Yeah, I need to listen to them, but I've heard good things.
They're so fun. You're going to love them.
Okay.
Them. Let me see. The Interrupters. I really want to see. I've never seen them, but they're one of the only living ska bands that's been on the radio in the last 20 years.
Oh, I want to see them then. I love ska.
We haven't had a ton of ska recently, but
yeah. If you're into ska, We Are the Union. Look them up.
Ooh, okay.
They're really good.
We Are the Union. Is that from the dude that does I'm blanking on the name, Ska Tune Network?
Yeah, the guy from Ska Tune Network is in that band as their horns.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, or they are in the band as their horns.
The juror guy.
Yeah, Jer is non-binary, so yeah.
Okay.
Jer plays the horns.
Yeah, he did Jeff Rosenstock's ska album. Jeff Rosenstock did an album in 2020 and then did the same album as a ska album in 2021.
Yeah, if there's a ska band and it has horns, as many ska bands do, that horn may be Jer. Jer is everywhere.
He is the ska man of 2023.
Yeah, the ska person. Just if you want a horn, Jer's there.
He's the Josh Freese of that, who is the new Foo Fighters drummer, who's everyone's drummer.
That's kind of like Dave Lombardo, but in metal. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's gonna be with Mr. Bungle, so he'll be there too.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I feel like there's just a running gag. I think he might be at Riot Fest almost every year, just being a drummer of a different band.
Yeah, last year and this year, Mr. Bungle.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for Riot Fest this year. In theory, I may be going to 2 fests. I might be going to Sad Summer.
Oh, nice.
We'll see if I can get some tickets to that. Because I want to go to Sad Summer, but I don't want to pay to go to Sad Summer. So
yeah,
I've been
we'll
there.
see if work can hook me up.
Yeah. What else on here that I really like? Aside, there was one whole line like, yeah, this is the Breeders, Kim Gordon, Viagra Boys, and Pup. I'm like, well, that's me. I'm gonna take that one and just put that over here. That's my line. And then Death Grips. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I'm interested in Death Grips too. I think I haven't listened to them too much, but I just know them from you talking about them, mostly, Gabe. So I'm kind of like, I'm like, okay, I should probably give them a shot.
They're famous trolls too, which I love. They used to play shows where they wouldn't show up and they would play a boombox playing their music instead. So will there be there or not? I don't know.
So I don't know if the Aqua Dolls is someone I'm actually familiar with, or if I'm just familiar with the Aqua Bats, and my brain keeps saying, you know this.
I've done that like 4 times looking at this.
Yeah, like I think I just keep thinking the Aqua Dolls are the Aqua Bats, which would be wild.
They've played before. It's in the realm of reality.
It is in the realm of reality. But yeah, I'd like to see Aqua Bats on here.
There's honestly, like, I was looking at this. There's so many things I want to see. There's no way I'm gonna like.
Yeah, there's no way to see everything you want to see.
100 Gex. I don't know if you're familiar with 100 Gex, but they're so strange and so interesting. They're like a pop band. If a pop band did speed.
I am not familiar, but I actually just had some friends who recently went and saw them. So I was just talking to them about 100 Gex. They were talking about the show and how they had a bunch of edibles right before they went, and then felt like they were transcending space and time while listening to 100 Gex.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 100 Gex is a good edibles band because they're already kind of a speed band.
Yeah. Yeah, they felt like they were transcending space and time. So
I'd say that Mars Volta would be a better fit for that.
Yeah.
But there's that. I'm a fan of the Gaslight Anthem. They're kind of Bruce Springsteen-y. Let's see. And everyone has been telling me the Dresden Dolls. I'm not familiar, but I've heard that name yelled at me so many times now that it's probably worth looking at.
The Dresden Dolls are an old staple. And yet, whenever I think of them, I can't think of a single song.
Yeah.
It's like they've just been on the periphery of my brain for my entire life.
That's how I feel about it too. And then of course there's all these Pennywise. I really want to see Head Automatica. That's Glassjaw. That's the singer from Glassjaw's side project.
Oh, I love a good side project.
And then of course we've got Parliament Funkadelic. Like, what? Sure.
Yeah. I love the random stuff that shows up on Riot Fest. I think that's why part of the reason Riot Fest is so fun is because you just have some of the most, like, even just tonally strange things that you didn't expect to see, and it's there. They're there.
The things I've seen mosh pits to at Riot Fest.
Yeah.
We saw one to Macho Man, by the Village People. I saw one to Devo's Whip It.
Yeah.
I saw a mosh pit to Jerry Lee Lewis. The things that Riot Fest is like, that's the one. And I think this year we already know who it's going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
There's going to be an ironic Corey Feldman mosh pit. I just know it.
There has to be.
There has to be the Corey Feldman mosh pit.
It just makes sense.
I still don't know what he's going to be doing, and that makes it even funnier. Like, I'm just imagining.
I have no idea. I'm actually not going to look it up. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I'm just imagining doing like slam poetry for some reason. And then people moshing to it.
Oh God.
I just want to see Corey Feldman do the what's up, Denny's kind of thing, but with Riot Fest, just to get the crowd going. Yeah.
I was gonna say that whatever he says, they're gonna eat it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
There's also Bowling for Soup, who I actually would really recommend, because you may know like 2 songs from them, but they're hilarious. They
Bowling for Soup is a big one for me. I was a huge fan back in the day. They're a lot of fun. Like, they're very fun.
I've seen them once live. They're so much fun live.
I think I might have seen them once live too, back at Warped Tour, in the Warped Tour days.
In the Warped Tour, in the golden days.
In the golden days. The Warped Tour, the same year I saw Motion City Soundtrack, Say Anything, and wow, I can't think of their name. Well, never mind. I'll scream it later when I remember.
Whatever conversation's happening, just shout it out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Another one I think The Exploited is an old school hardcore band who we're not quite sure how the lead singer is alive, but he is. So I'm going to see it while he still is.
Yeah.
And hope he doesn't die on the stage.
Yeah, legitimately fans are saying, like, maybe just put an ambulance on the side, just in case.
In case he goes too hard, has a heart attack.
He had a heart attack on tour last year, and he's still touring.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, it's a legitimate concern.
I mean, he just wants to go out doing what he loves.
Exactly.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
He's definitely doing the Motorhead route of things, for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's, let me see, I think the other one I was talking about was White Reaper. White Reaper is really fun. They're kind of like a modern day Sum 41. They combine pop punk and metal in a really fun way. They have like dueling guitar solos that happen in the middle of a pop song. It's great.
Ooh, I love that. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So they'll be great. And yeah, Crass. David would yell at me if I didn't mention Crass. That's an old school hardcore band.
Okay, I have to listen to them then.
Yeah, and there's so many. You could just keep going.
Yeah, this is just a really good
It's deep.
list.
Like the undercard is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is even stronger than last year. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, Nine Inch Nails is one of my favorite bands on the planet, but like the undercard of this year is by far better.
yes, yeah, exactly. Like the big names last year were really big, but like the undercard here is really varied, really great. A lot of like oldies but goodies, and then like a lot of new stuff that's interesting, and like it's just a very good combination of things. I feel like it's definitely more promising than last year's.
And it's not like they did like no big names either. Like Foo Fighters with the new drummer, the Cure. That one was even surprised to me.
Yeah. Like
I was pretty sure it was going to be Paramore as the third name on that.
Yeah. It seemed likely we'd get a Paramore, but maybe it didn't work out scheduling wise or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I was wondering about that because they skipped Chicago, so my brain was like, okay.
Yeah, usually anybody who skips Chicago is because of Riot Fest, unless they're
or
at
Lollapalooza.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to be at Lolla.
They're not, which is why I was so sure they were going to be here.
Oh, they're not at Lolla. Maybe they're at Sad Summer.
I don't know.
Let me look at Sad Summer.
But the Cure have played before, but the thing about the Cure is they're probably going to play against the Mars Volta, in which my brain goes, I'm sorry, but
gotta go see the Mars Volta.
Yeah.
I know they're not at Sad Summer either, unless
Chicago just forgot about Paramore.
Yeah, I guess so.
something bad must have happened the last time Paramore was here.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck Chicago. We ain't going.
Yeah, because Sad Summer has Taking Back Sunday, the main, the band I never know how to say, PVRAS.
It's like Privis or something, yeah.
Privis, Hot Mulligan, Mom Jean, Stand Atlantic, Andrew McMahon, Head Automatica, LS Dunes, and Motion City Soundtrack, Cliff Diver, Daisy Grenade, Sincere Engineer.
You just plant me in front of Head Automatica and Motion City Soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I want to go. I want to see Motion City Soundtrack. I'd be good to see LS Dunes. Hot Mulligan. Hot Mulligan's been doing a lot of fun things lately.
We saw them last year, or at least listened to their set.
Yes, yeah, we listened to like the end of their set last year.
They're good.
Yeah, they were good. But yeah.
Well, the other one I keep forgetting, The Used. I don't know if you're that level of emo, but I've never seen them.
I was at one point that level of emo.
I feel like everyone has like that one time in high school where they were at least at one time that level of emo.
Yeah, yeah. So The Used being here is another big callback for me.
Yeah, they're from the old school emo days.
Yes.
Them and AFI is the other one.
The beginning. Yeah. The Used and AFI.
AFI, again, Riley and I saw them at Lala. They were really fun.
Yeah, they were fun at Lollapalooza when we saw them. God, how long ago was it now? Like,
boy, 2010 maybe?
Oh my God. That was a long time ago.
Time makes fools of us all.
I don't like numbers. Doesn't look positive for me. And then, I'm really curious. The Postal Service is that's a personal one. Like, I remember we chose Mumford & Sons over them, and I still wonder if that was the correct choice.
I'm not big on Mumford & Sons, so I may have...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm like...
We probably should have seen the Postal Service. I still think that.
Okay.
But the Postal Service play against Queens of the Stone Age, I'm almost certain of it. It's going to be unfortunate because I love Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's a good person, but that's a separate conversation.
Yeah, that's
a separate one to have.
It's like there's enough in that I'm probably sure he isn't, but we'll just until more things come out, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know. There's a lot of Johnny Depp Amber Heard things happening. That's all there is with that one.
Yeah, and until everything comes out, you really can't make a decision.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna not make choices until I know the real info.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this lineup looks really good. I think it's gonna be a lot of hard decisions. A lot of running between stages, like. I got half of this band, now I have to go get half of that band all the way across.
They're going to shove Guar somewhere in the middle of a really good band again or something.
Yeah, they're going to have to run to Guar.
They did Guar so dirty last year, like just by having them scheduled so close to the Misfits.
Yeah,
and like at a stage that was further away from the Misfits.
It was in between the Misfits and Go-Go Bordello, which is not cool.
Yeah, poor Guar. I mean, I'm sure people still showed up because
Guar. Because Guar, yeah.
But they played Hey Saddam Go-Go. I mean, what could go? That just sounds fun, but
I try to make that the annual tradition at Riot Fest, but sometimes
I'd never seen Go-Go Bordello.
Go-Go Bordello's set at Riot Fest was one of the best things of the year.
Yes.
It was not to miss that if you can. Guar is like, I'm sorry, Guar.
Yeah. I've seen you before, Guar.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's hard to go against, we've seen Guar a few times. It's hard to go against Ukrainian folk punk where they do dancing, the folk dancing on stage.
Yeah, they don't always do that. That was a special.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so I saw the best version of that then.
You did.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of those. Go-Go Bordello's a band. If you had to add another every year band, that would be one for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bummed I missed that one because I was really interested in seeing it.
They'll be back. They're back every couple years.
Yeah, I'll just have to wait.
Yep. Wait a couple years, it'll come back around.
Fall in other holes. No more falling in holes for me.
No, I think you've crossed that one off the list.
Yeah, well, I fell in 3 holes, and it was only the last one that fucked me up. So,
So we only have it's like a 3 strike, but instead of 3 strike, it's a 3 hole limit. So we have to just be on the lookout for any holes in the ground.
Yeah.
That could cause Corinne to fall.
Yeah, because I can fall twice and probably be okay, but if I fall a 3rd time, that's
the whole
it.
spotting patrol, just to stop hole.
So no stage diving for Corinne, I guess.
No.
Just because I said
my
I
stage
did it,
diving days are over. My moshing days are over.
We're going to cross that off the list permanently. Once you turn 30, stage diving needs to go away.
I don't know. I've never done it, so I might want to try it sometime.
Oh, see,
true.
I never stage dive because I've always had a fucked up back. But I did do the way up close, definitely moshing, which I can no longer do as a over 30.
I choose to no longer do it because I've never been hurt moshing, but it would happen now.
Yeah, I made the smart decision to just stop while I was ahead. Like, I've never been hurt doing this before, but
when it happens.
Yeah, when it happens, I'm going to get real fucked up. So let's not. I'll just step in a hole instead.
Grill Biscuits will be interesting because when I saw them, they removed the barricade and they told the fans, the stage is your stage. So do whatever you want. And they did.
Oh, gosh.
People took the mic and started singing the words and they just let it happen. And yeah, it was great. I'm sure that Riot Fest cannot allow that to happen.
Yeah, they're probably not going to let that happen.
But the band was just cool with it. Like, at one point, the guitarist handed his guitar to a fan. It just
have at it.
Yeah, you do it. I'll take a break.
I'm tired. Here you go.
So that's the wild energy that they're going to bring. So that'll be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun.
The only thing I'm thinking is, I was a little surprised to see some of the legacy punk bands on tour not hitting this up. Like Sushi Sue was on tour. I was kind of expecting her and Iggy Pop to show up.
Yeah.
Or X and the Damned and things like that. And metal was on the rise, so I was kind of thinking we were going to get some more metal bands this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of, I was like, I was hoping for a bit more metal because, I'm me. But, I'm actually really happy with the stuff that I do know and the stuff that y'all are talking about that I don't know.
There's a lot of hardcore bands. It's not metal, intrigued.
But... Yeah, hardcore is still great. Like there's a great overlap between hardcore and metal.
Yeah, Earth Crisis is another
especially especially these days. Because that's kind of one of the some of the best subgenres in metal right now is like the hardcore splicing with other types of metal and other genres and stuff. But A-Log, Code Orange, but I'm down for some hardcore. I'm down for some punk, some alternative, and I trust your judgment on what's good that I don't know most of the time, Gabe. Most of the time.
There may be some Lala days where I steered you incorrectly and I knew I was doing it.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah.
I was aware that you weren't going to love it. I was like, but what about this? Like, Foster the People is your friend, Riley.
Foster the Poop Hole.
Foster the People was not Riley's friend.
No.
But, like, I feel like at Riot Fest, I'm more likely to find stuff that overlaps with my interest.
Especially this year. It's such a wild.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't know if you know about Godspeed Black Emperor, but that one is going to be really interesting. It's only instrumental band.
Yeah.
But they play a very wide range. Could go from metal to punk to almost like classical. And they have a giant projector playing old school movies on stage while they play. So you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see them. They're on my list for sure because I know they're an experience, and I love an experience.
That's why they're on my list too.
Yeah, I'm such a bitch for an experience band. Like, show me something I haven't seen before. I've seen a lot.
I get so many things like that. You're like, do you want to see a 2-piece Japanese metal band where the singer is screaming while the guitarist rides a giant robot? I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, I do. I didn't know I wanted to see that until right now.
And that is Melt Banana, and I was very pleased.
Yeah, I just give me something new, give me something I haven't seen before, and
that's why I love this year so much. Like, this is the new year for sure.
Yeah, this is the year where there's a lot of things that I haven't seen before. I mean, there's a lot of throwbacks, but there's a lot of weird shit in here in a good way, like weird shit positive, not weird shit derogatory.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those, but I'm still curious.
Yeah. Some might be bad, but we'll
see. Clowns. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about the clowns. Because like I said, this is post-apology ICP, so I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I have my Limp Bizkit curiosity hat on. We'll say that.
Yes, yeah. Well, and I had friends who were really into ICP when I was growing up, and I was always like, what the fuck are we listening to?
Oh, yes.
One of our best friends is a diehard, or was. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah.
It was a diehard Juggalo ICP, big ICP fan, and it's like, oh, David.
Yeah, and I just had this friend Brittany who was super into them, and it was just one of those things where I'm interested to see where they are now, given that I saw them not like live or anything, but I listened to them in their heyday.
I've heard things through David that I'm not sure I wanted to hear, but I've heard.
Yeah. And there was that one song that they did with Jack White.
I think both parties wish they hadn't done that.
Yeah. Like, what is going on here? It's just
choices were made, not good ones.
And that's always the risk you take.
I think that's the thing. Jack White's like, I'll play with anybody. You probably shouldn't have said that, Jack.
You just gotta go the Corey Taylor route of things. So like you'll feature on a lot of stuff, but also like have some.
Have standards.
Have some standards about it. Like when the whole Machine Gun Kelly thing. Like,
hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Hilarious. Yeah, I was there at Riot Fest when that happened, but I was not aware it was happening.
What a thing to miss.
I know. I'm kind of bummed about that, to be honest. But then you would have to see Machine Gun Kelly. That's the only drawback.
Yeah, I don't want to see Machine Gun Kelly.
I don't want to see Machine Gun Kelly.
I'm happier without Machine Gun Kelly having been witnessed by my eyeballs.
Yeah. Same. I don't know if there's any other deep cuts. I think that's most of them for me.
Yeah.
There's so many things I haven't listened to yet that I'm sure, like the Dresden Dolls, I'm going to have to look into that more. I know of them, of course, but I haven't listened to them fairly. And the Breeders is a fun one if you don't, the Breeders, classic 90s. They're one of those 90s classic sounding bands that if you like the 90s music, the Breeders.
Yeah. Well, and I just finished getting caught up on most of the podcast I was behind on. So like at work, it's really probably just going to be listening to all these bands now.
Oh, yeah.
I flip-flop between music and podcasts, but I was like so behind on so many podcasts because I'd been doing music for a while, but now I'm mostly caught up so I can get back into
some deep diving. Yeah.
Yeah. Doing some deep diving while I'm working.
I mean, I kind of listen to music while I do video editing. So it's like I kind of put on an album that I want to listen to repeatedly for a few times a day. And then I go on a walk and I try to kind of absorb it better just by going on like an hour-long walk.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've been doing Mr. Bungle and been doing a few things from here. Let me see. I'm gonna re-listen to some more Turnstile because I do like Turnstile. I'm just trying to get in so I remember everything.
And then they'll probably focus pretty hard on the new album too.
I can't stop yawning. I apologize.
It's okay. Like you guys, y'all called me. Like when I saw like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm ready." I'm like, "Shit, I'm just waking up again." Like I gotta get set up. I gotta put on my eyeliner, my makeup, and get my coffee.
Human skull's worth of coffee.
My human skull worth of coffee. Like can't even see my face. My face and the coffee are now one. But I need to, and I'm gonna try and listen to more Mars Volta and everything. eventually the new Foo Fighters, which all the singles for that have sounded.
Yeah, I haven't heard much of it yet. I know that the last two have been kind of disappointing, but this one will be good just because of the trauma of it.
The singles are really good. Like, they don't reinvent the Foo Fighters, but you wouldn't kind of, at this stage in their career, you wouldn't expect them to. But they all sound really good, like Foo Fighters songs. Not like the heavier Foo Fighters, but kind of like the more melodic alternative. Like, it's a very good version of that.
The more return to form.
Yeah.
In a tangential vein, there was. Are you familiar with Eve 6?
Yes.
Yes.
I follow this on Twitter. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I mean,
got to.
Eve 6 isn't allowed at Riot Fest ever. It's in the rules.
It's literally on the website.
Yeah, they can't go to Riot Fest.
Is there a reason for this?
Yes, there's a reason for this.
Would you like to fill in on the reason?
Yeah, the reason is that you know how fun the Riot Fest social media presence is. Well,
yes.
Eve 6 is equally fun, and they got to an argument, and it never ended. It's still going.
Yeah, they're still like fighting with each other just
to this
over
very
social
moment.
Media. So Eve 6 is not allowed at Riot Fest, and you can look at the rules.
The rules literally says Eve 6 is not allowed.
Yeah, like in like unapproved items is Eve 6.
Yeah.
And just the reason I was thinking about that is because so Eve 6 recently put out a single that was a bit of a return to form for them, because their last album sounded like the lead singer was like singing in a trash can, and not in a good way.
Yeah, there's a good version of that.
Yeah.
But there's also the singer sounds like he's singing out of a trash can version of that.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I couldn't even listen to it. Like I was listening to it and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. I cannot, either the mixing's bad or you're too much in a trash can. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Please stop. And then they released a single recently that was a bit of a return to form. He no longer sounded like he was in a trash can. So I'm excited that maybe they're realizing being in a trash can's a bad idea. I don't know.
I would love them to be a secret performance, like not spoken, and they just show up.
Yes, that would be amazing if they were there.
What if they were dressed up as the stage crew?
Yeah, the stage crew for some other band, and they come on and play a song and leave.
I can't remember the name of the other guy. There's a wrestler that was on the same list of people that's not allowed, that he did in fact sneak in.
Yeah. Let me see if they even have their rules up yet, because it's so early.
The other rule that's hilarious is that anybody that brings John Stamos is allowed in for life.
Yeah. John Stamos is always allowed. Here we go. Okay. Here, is it allowed at Riot Fest? This is like the list. So, normal stuff: raincoats, bug spray, earplugs, prescription medication, and that's all stuff that's allowed. And then, various things that aren't allowed: laptops, crying, littering, cantaloupe, umbrellas, pets, except for service animals, glass and metal containers, no CM Punk until he apologized for what he did. No pineapple on pizza. He did
sneak in and he did not apologize.
No pineapple on pizza, no Eve 6, no people who follow Eve 6 on Twitter. No Kid Rock stupid ass and any Kid Rock fans. Let's see, anything else on here? Nope, that's it.
John Stamos, yeah.
Yeah, but John Stamos is under the yes.
If you bring John Stamos, you're allowed in.
Allowed. John Stamos, yes. John Stamos is allowed. Every year I get a kick out of the is it allowed list, because there's the legitimate things you need to know on there, like what can't I bring, but also there's people that are not allowed and people who are allowed, like John Stamos.
Yeah, CM Punk, I guess his wrestling walk-on song was the Cult of Personality by Living Colour. So they played that and he came out and he says, "Fuck off, Riot Fest," and dove off the stage.
So now he's not allowed at Riot Fest.
It's great. No, that was after he wasn't allowed. He just did it anyway.
Yeah, so I love the list of people and things not allowed at Riot Fest. But yeah, they had a song that didn't sound like the lead singer was singing out of a garbage can. So like I'm perhaps intrigued again, because their last two albums were a letdown.
I really only know the one song by Eve Six, the Heart in a Blender song. You
Yeah,
probably know
see,
that one, right?
I like their basically all their original albums are all pretty good, but they were really, really young. Like they got famous because of I think it was Heart in a Blender that got them famous, but there might have been another one. They got really famous really fast, and they were all like 16 at the time. And they got super famous and suddenly had a ton of money, and at least one of them got heavily addicted to drugs. As you do. And like they were making really bad decisions. And then that's why they ended up breaking the band after like their third album or fourth album, whatever it was, because they were like, in their early 20s at this point, and they could have kept going, but they realized that they were like either going to die or like going to do something terrible if they didn't stop and, learn how to be adults instead of, the teenagers that they had been, which I have to give them props for that, for realizing, maybe being famous since we were 16 and having all this money and all these drugs all the time is a really bad idea. And then they came back when I was in college, with a new album, and there was a few songs that were pretty good, but the rest like really didn't sound like them. It felt like they were trying to sound like themselves.
Oh yeah.
And then the new one, the singer was in a garbage can for some reason. And then this new single came out, and I'm like, oh.
Eve Six's funniest thing was the singer kept trying to make himself the new singer of Smash Mouth. By force, basically.
That's funny.
He's just like constantly like, I have another song. We could add one other hit to your 2 hits.
Yeah. They've always had a good sense of humor about themselves, so like I do enjoy that. But yeah, I have hope that maybe there's a new album coming down the pipe that will be a return to form in a good way versus the first one they tried, which was a return to form in a bad way, and then a stray from form in a bad way. So, we'll see.
It's always bad, unfortunate when it's the return to form in a bad way.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
I remember Corn 3. Remember which is quite possibly their worst album, and that was them like really trying to recapture the first 2 albums that they produced with Ross Robinson. And that was like forced. That was like darker and even more angsty, but that was just so forced. There was I liked the one single, Oildale. That was pretty. Right. That was solid, but the rest of the album is like, oh no,
yeah, and that's like what it was for the Eve Six album that came out when I was in college. It was like there was like 2-3 songs that I was like, there was 2 songs I was like, oh, I like these. One song I was like, that's not bad, and the rest was like just awful, and I'm like, why? That you're trying way too hard. I don't understand what's happening. Are you just out of practice? Did you need more time? Did you need less time? You're adults now, and while I don't expect you to I want you to sound like adults, but also don't completely change your sound, and you skewed too much towards not being adults. You're adults now.
Sounds familiar to me when I was trying to review Goo Goo Dolls albums after the 90s. Yelling into the void at the Goo Goo Dolls. Just stop it.
Yeah, just stop it. Just be better.
Be the 90s you, but not like that.
Yeah. Do you better, because now you're doing it bad.
Yeah. You're doing it wrong. Quit it.
Quit it. Be better, please, because I want to like you.
One of those we have to discover, okay. This is like Adam Sandler. Have they changed or have I changed?
Exactly.
I think both.
Yeah, I think both is true, but I go back and listen to old songs and still like them. So
Yes, exactly.
We've both changed, but you need to do better, Eve Six. But also, I do find you funny. You're very funny.
Oh, they're great. Follow them on Twitter. It's totally
follow them on Twitter. I mean, you're not allowed to go to Riot Fest if you follow them on Twitter, but do
just
it.
Unfollow them real quick before Riot Fest.
Yeah, just unfollow before Riot Fest. They'll let you in. They check everyone's Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of like Kuma's Corners. They used to have this, like, one of their rules was no Cubs paraphernalia. Oh, wow. So it's kind of like, will I be banned? And like, yeah, you're fine.
I've always been tempted to wear an Eve 6 shirt to Riot Fest and see if anybody notices. Because I have one. I have one from my college days. It still fits. Like,
you should then. Yeah, you absolutely should.
Yeah, I'll go pull out my Eve 6 shirt.
I was walking around Germany at one point wearing a Rammstein shirt because I thought it would be a thing they love like we love. Turns out, some of them really don't.
Oh, wow.
You get the cross the street looks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those guys.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought this was a thing you all loved. Turns out, no. So, in transition, is there anything else in the world of anything that you guys have been up to?
I mean, I haven't really watched too many movies or played many games. I'm still playing Dead Island 2. I think I'm towards the end of that. And I've come around to thinking it's a pretty solid and fun game. I mean, that's kind of in my opinion the last 2 weeks, last 2 episodes.
Dead Island 1 was fun once you stopped trying to actually do the campaign.
Yeah, once you were just playing it to play it, like...
Yeah, like the gameplay loop is solid, just, decapitating zombies, and like the upgrade system is rewarding, and the weapon crafting is fun, and, the actual playing of the game is pretty good. It's just that everything else, like the writing and the story is, like there's extreme tonal shifts where the game... sometimes wants you to take its narrative seriously, but its characters are so one-dimensional. And this time, since it's in LA, a lot of them are like parodies of like kind of celebrities, and it's like they're so one note and just not very creative. It's like it's trying to be Borderlands 2 writing, but instead it's being Borderlands 3 writing.
I was just gonna say. Yep, there's that.
So it's like there's a certain skill and finesse to make like those characters like fun and likable, where you take the narrative seriously, even though the narrative, like a lot of times the narrative is just funny and not serious. And Dead Island 2 does not do that.
It seems like the kind of game you play just for the gameplay. It
is, and when you focus on the gameplay, it's pretty fun.
Well, and like it kind of like where the idea of the characters are pretty ridiculous or like super tropey or something like that, but you're still taking this series seriously, is like something like Yakuza, where Yakuza is like everything's tropey and fucking weird, and there's just a guy who just pops up out of the sewer to fight you all the time, and like like you go on wild quests, and at one point you just work a day job with like moving boxes, like
I've heard nothing but good things from
and like the Yakuza series is a really good example of that. Like your story can be fucking bonkers and people can still take it seriously because like the narrative is good, and it's just all the characters are fucking wild and you're doing bizarre business, like some guy pops out of the sewer to fight you and you're like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to fight you. Again? Okay. All right. He just shows up everywhere to fight you because, that's what he does.
That's his MO.
It's his MO. He just wants to fight you. And you accept that, and it's still a good story. And I feel like that's where a lot of games struggle, is the balance. And it feels like Dead Island kind of has that problem. Like it was trying to do something, be flippant and silly while also making you take the story seriously, which is a hard thing to do. You need to have an engaging narrative, and the characters have to have they have to at least be 2-dimensional instead of 1-dimensional, side characters can be 1-dimensionals, but your actual main cast you need to care about them. Otherwise you're just gonna be like, why? Why though? Yeah.
And that's Dead Island 2.
Kill the zombies, but why though?
I've done the same thing with Zelda, not playing any of the campaign, playing a lot of it. No story. I make broken machines. That's what I do now.
Well, I've heard the building's great.
I hear the crafting and the creativity of how you can break the game is amazing.
It's funny because Robert texted me I think it was Monday. Do not download the new update because I know you're using the cheating, and it will make you stop. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yes. So I guess I am duplicating all the items by throwing them at the ground. Why wouldn't I be? And it's the funny thing is, the YouTube, you get to see all the great builds. It's like, well, none of mine look like that or function like that. Yesterday, I built a spring by attaching 6 springs together, and it fell over and launched me into a mountain and killed me. So these are the things that happen when you're not good at it.
But you're still having fun.
Oh, so much fun. It's so good. I built a flying horse saddle, and then the horse saddle ran out of battery because it runs on batteries for some reason, and the horse fell. I don't want to know how far because I didn't watch. It's like, oh no, that's
you're
a really
like
big
the
fall.
Acme Corporation.
Yeah, it's become that.
I just want to see like just like TikToks or YouTubes of just people screwing around and like, you know, doing like Roadrunner and Coyote shit, and then when like a character dies, they do the Looney Tunes theme and the zoom out.
My favorite thing you can do is if you're in a conversation or around NPCs that you don't care about, is just attach rockets to them and remove them from the conversation. Like, I wasn't feeling it. Bye. And they can't die because they're important characters, but they're over there now.
You just shoot them into space, and eventually they land.
Yep. I'm going to keep doing things and probably not do any story at all. I spent an hour trying to make an Apple launcher. So these are the things you can do.
Yes.
I've still been playing Darkest Dungeon 2. I've gotten a little bit better at it, but it still has the randomness problem. I figured out kind of what its intention is. It wants you to try and get the characters to have really high relationships with each other, because when they have the high relationships, it really, like, the randomness is in your favor more often. Like, things will happen that you can trigger that will, like, help you instead of harm you. Whereas when your people hate each other, things will trigger in the opposite direction. But it's really hard to make these characters like each other because so many things make them want to hate each other. And I had one group that really liked each other, and they made it, and I made it all the way to the end, and I defeated the boss, one of many. And then I brought them all back, and I sent them out on another expedition, and all of their love for each other was gone, and they started at base 0, and I'm like, why don't you still love each other? You're the same people. You made it. You survived. You should still be friends. God damn it. And I was really mad, and then they died because they very shortly hated each other, and everything went to shit. So...
Did they tell you what happened, or...?
They just started out at base relationship 0 again, like neutral instead of
one of them put ketchup. One of them put ketchup on their Chicago dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and then they had a falling out over that.
Yeah, that must have been it. But yeah, it's just, I wish that would be one major change I wish you could make, is that if the party survives and they get to the end, their relationships stay the same. And then, like, at what they are, and then whether they're good or bad, they stay the same, and then you bring them back, and you can keep building on that. Because that would be great, because, like, if you fuck up then, and they start to hate each other, at least you have a reason. But instead it was these same characters that had survived, and I brought them back, and they all just pretended like they didn't know each other, and I'm like, you were all best friends by the time you finished that campaign. Why do you not know each other? And I was so mad. But I'm still playing it because I like Darkest Dungeon as a game. It makes me so mad, but also I like it.
Dark Souls in a nutshell.
Exactly. And that's my review. Beyond that, I've just been, like I said, I was catching up on podcasts. I had a lot of podcasts I hadn't listened to. I still need to catch up on Dungeons and Daddies, but that's the last one. But yeah.
I never heard that, but I kind of love that name.
It's really fun. It is very loosely inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they are technically playing D&D 5e, technically, but none of them in the beginning are very good at it. So it's very, very loose, and it stays that way. D&D is the vehicle, but really they're driving the car with like no hands. It's about a bunch of dads whose kids are kidnapped into a portal that leads to the Forgotten Realms, and then they all go through the portal after their kids and realize that suddenly they are D&D characters now. Like they have classes and magic, and they can do shit. They all have a class, and they're trying to get their kids back as they journey through the Forgotten Realms, and it's a lot of fun. They take like psychic damage for dad jokes. So like if one player does a dad joke, the rest get psychic damage. But like you get advantage, so like you get to roll your next roll twice if it's a good one. So like that's why they're doing it to each other. And like they're driving a Honda or a Nissan, or like they have a car. I feel bad that I don't remember what kind of car, because it actually plays like a big part, and they start treating like, because you can like speak with animals or like speak with your mount. Their mount was a car, so they were able to talk to their car. And it's just like really fucking silly. Their tagline is not a BDSM podcast. So
Yeah,
I do recommend Dungeons and Daddies. It's very funny. It's in its second arc now, which is really good too. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you like just ridiculousness, dad jokes, puns, it's, technically it's D&D kind of, but really it's more about the story. So you don't even really need to know about tabletop to enjoy it, because the players don't really know about tabletop when they start. Like the person running it knows, and he's like, I just want you to understand your characters. I want you to know what you can do. And they're like, can I do this? And he's like, not really, but in this situation, I guess I'll let you do that. Like, does this mean this? No. Can I do it anyway? Fine. Is most of the actual gameplay that occurs. So, yeah. That's my just random recommendation, Dungeons and Daddies. It's great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
See, I've been listening to a band called Three Teeth lately. It is a industrial metal, dystopian metal band that kind of sounds like a combination of Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, but without all the baggage that Marilyn Manson has. And they have 3 albums out. They recently released a song where they collaborated with Mick Gordon, who did the Doom soundtracks. And their song and their discography, they have 3 albums so far. And they all really kick ass. Though their 2 most recent albums are especially really good. I recommend if you into some industrial metal and even just industrial rock. I think industrial rock fans would get a kick out of it too. But that's my music recommendation of the week.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm sorry.
I might have. I have a review for you. If you noticed the subtle change.
I did. Yes. You changed where you are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you reviewing, Gabe?
I'm actually counter to what you expect, reviewing the Little Mermaid. So I saw Little Mermaid, and this Little Mermaid, they make some changes from what you expect. So Ariel is played by Vin Diesel, of course. And Letty, the side character Letty. Yeah, so in this one, there's a lot of driving really fast on underwater cars. And Ursula? Well, this time it's played by Jason Momoa, playing the most mustache twirling comedic villain you've ever seen in your entire life. And at one point, he laughs at corpses and puts makeup on them, and then laughs at them some more.
Sounds like Ursula.
Just like Ursula. Yep, just like Ursula. Sebastian is played by John Cena. Just doing giant John Cena things and jumping out of planes, which for some reason happen. Don't ask. lots of cars, lots of explosions. For some reason, Ariel kills a lot of people in this one. I don't know what to tell you about that.
Well, Disney is allowing R-rated things on their platform now. So
testing for Deadpool testing.
Yeah, Deadpool testing.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot of explosions, and honestly, Jason Momoa might be the one person, all jokes aside, that should have been in this movie. He was given the script, and everyone's staring at each other and going, family, and he's going, but what if not that? What if the exact opposite of everything you've ever done? I'm like, yes.
And I did that now, flamboyantly, with
we're going to be
twirling,
equally trying to kill Vin Diesel and fuck him at the same time, and we're never sure which one, and it's great. It was perfect.
I kind of want to hear Jason Momoa sing "Poor Unfortunate Souls" now.
There are moments where he's like doing a badass thing, and then he'll just like do a curtsy in the middle of it, and you're like, perfect, yes, 10 out of 10. Like whatever you were given with the script, you went with it, and you're like, yes, everything, yes.
I'd like to think everything weird is just Jason Momoa being like, this movie's ridiculous, I'm gonna make it even more. So
he's finally figured out the magic of it is that you can't take it seriously. So
yeah,
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And he really didn't.
Random bullshit that still fits the script. I'm not going outside the script, technically speaking.
So it's so like, even if you don't love these movies, just watch everything he does. It's perfect. Every choice he makes is the most comedic, over the top, like cartoon villain you've ever seen. It's fantastic.
You keep talking about family, but what if not family?
That's a little bit like, not even kidding. He does a bit of that where he's like, just like starts making.
What if not?
And sometimes he'll be serious, but then he's basically the Joker who also wants to fuck the entire cast. It's amazing. Like, I didn't even know you had that in you, but you're nailing it. And it's part 1 of this, so he's gonna come back and do it again.
Well, I love that. I love that they're giving him room to grow here. The
character and The Rock will be back, so The Rock will be tried to fuck by Jason Momoa. It's just all sorts of things. It's just so good, because every other movie is the showdown of staring down, holding a giant bat, and they have a sword fight. And this one, Jason Momoa gets hit in the face and throws a tooth at Vin Diesel.
I had heard that this one was really good.
If you like silly bananas bullshit, it's perfect.
Yeah. And I do love silly bananas bullshit.
I love how stupid they are, and this just makes me love it so much more.
Yeah, because I think I said last time, like the last one I saw was the 5th one, and that was after not having seen the 3rd or 4th one. And I was just like, I don't need to know anything else, and it was fine. So
they've taken the whole up the stakes thing so far that it's like, at a certain point, you need to have a character that understands that this is ridiculous and everything in this is stupid. And they finally have it, and it's great.
Yeah. Because everyone was taking it so seriously as the stakes went up and up and up and up. And it's like, at this point, how is anyone taking this seriously? And now someone finally isn't.
Like, I really hope they go into space in part 2. Just driving cars in space.
There's so many things. At this point, they fully establish he's their superheroes at this point, which is like, yes, thank you. We knew it, so just thank you.
Yeah, because there's no way these people would survive the amount of things you put them through at this point.
Driving a car really good is its own superpower in this universe.
My favorite description I've heard about these movies is like, they're like normal movies, but instead of dialogue, it's cars. I'm like, yes.
Instead of plot development, it's cars.
It's cars. Anything that you can see people doing, they do the same thing, but in cars. I'm like, yes, I'm in.
I think these movies is how we eventually get to the universe of Cars, the movie. Like, at some point, the cars are going to gain sentience.
The plot twist, there isn't one, but the plot twist is that finally a character understands what the audience understands.
A self-aware villain.
Well, like, a character will die and he's like, oh, I guess he's not going to come back to the next barbecue. And you're like, like, Jesus Christ, Jason, yes, but okay. So I would highly recommend just watch it for him.
Well, it's on my list now because that's a glowing review. That's the kind of review that makes me want to watch a movie like Fast X. Is that what it is now?
Yep.
Fast X.
I
mean the Little
Fast
Mermaid.
X2 next. I don't know.
I mean the Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, of course.
Fast X2, X-Men United.
Yeah.
X2, the most fast.
Too fast, too furious, two X.
It's so funny to me because of the series. They spent, it's like a joke. They spent 10 movies building up.
Yeah.
Like, we've taken this serious for so long, and you know it isn't, but now we finally know it isn't. Like, yes.
The payoff we've been waiting for this whole time.
And I didn't even know that, like, Jason Momoa usually is funny, but, like, I didn't know he had that level of, like, ridiculous in him.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing curtsies and putting makeup on corpses and going, oh, yeah. Genderqueer Bugs Bunny is accurate.
I'm glad he's Bugs Bunnying it.
100%. He couldn't be more Bugs Bunnying it if he tried.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So,
and thank you, Gabe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. You've made me want to see this movie.
It's like one of those things. Like, is it a good movie? No, probably not. But that's not the point.
Not all movies need to be good to be enjoyable. They can be awful and still be enjoyable. And I'm a firm believer in that. There are no guilty pleasures. Enjoy the things you like, even if they're dog shit.
It's like, acting in this isn't good, even from Jason. But one thing is, it doesn't matter.
All right. I'm probably gonna wrap it up. But any final tidbits y'all want to say?
I don't think so. I think we've had a riotous discussion today.
Yes, a riotous discussion. All right, so this was the Riley and Friends pod / YouTube video / however you want to call it. If you're watching this, thank you. Keep watching everything on this channel. Is there anything y'all want to plug at the end?
I mean, I'll plug the same thing I plugged at the beginning. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. There we go. Can't even say my own podcast name. I have this trouble every time. I think it's just because I've been talking so long. Third episode comes out on Wednesday, 5:31. We're discussing Alex DeCampi's Heartbreak Incorporated. It's an occult romance. It's really well written. It's a mystery. We get tipsy on our signature cocktail of the episode, Eat the Rich. And it's really good. So yeah, please take a listen. It's a fun time. I'm really excited to put this one out.
Excellent. I'd like to promote not updating Zelda if you like cheating. Anymore. So don't do that.
How's the war between your dog and the squirrel going?
It's mostly a stare at him from the window, but I think that's just we're in the Cold War phase.
That's
soon
usually
there's going to be an arms race. So
of course.
Be careful.
Alrighty. Thank you all for watching. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.